Let's do this. Morning, sunshine. I see we got Jamie and Steve already. How you doing, boys? How you doing? Good morning. How you doing, Cameron?
I'm great. We get to do a really nerdy episode this morning.
Yeah, and I'll admit it's a slow news day, but it's never a slow enough news day for us to talk about some crying Karen who found a dead mouse on her front porch and decided it was white supremacy. Because we are not CNN.
Right. Though, there was a bit of news yesterday. The FBI all but came out and said they found Brian Laundrie's body.
Yeah, I saw that. They found a body surrounded by the personal effects of Brian Laundrie, and there's speculation going on around now that his parents were apparently within the last couple days they were seen doing stuff with cell phone companies and shipping agencies, and there's a lot of speculation there. If I'm being perfectly fair, it sounds like wild speculation, so I don't know that anybody's got a bead on that for real. I will be very interested to find out if the body they recovered was if it has a time of death similar to Miss Petito's time of death. If they were, but that's
Don't worry,
it's developing.
Don't worry, the FBI is on the case. I'm sure they'll discover that he was an insurrectionist soon enough.
I'm sure. Either that or they both were, and they totally deserved it. And then they'll find the killer and give him a medal. It'll be pink. Speaking of pink washing, so let's take a look at some CNN this morning with Don Lemon.
Yeah, this is a story we kept meaning to come to and kept meaning to get to and all that, and finally, yeah, here we are.
And we've talked about it a bit in the way that we talk about these kinds of things.
It's frustrating, okay? I'm tired of watching this happen because, okay, Superman comes out as bisexual. Even this headline is really clickbaity because Superman's son comes out as bisexual, who conveniently has enough of the same superpowers as Superman in order to be, I guess, super bisexual.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we're being perfectly fair about the idea of the story, Superman's son comes out as bisexual. That's okay, fair enough. Superman's a busy guy, absentee father. Stuff happens.
Yeah. That's an awful joke. It really is. Okay, to be clear,
but statistically accurate. Now, in all fairness, the statistically higher probability would be that Superman Jr. turned into a criminal. Had some drug problems, maybe a little petty theft, maybe a little recreational grand theft auto. Big booty juicy strawberry, you just got the ban hammer. I do not tolerate ad bots on my channels. Ever. And they only come from Twitch in my experience.
Yeah, it's weird. Or maybe it's just a Twitch thing.
Maybe it's just a Twitch thing.
Anyhow, okay. As Steve says, Superman didn't come out. Somebody forgot to add the Bizarro effect to the cover. I don't know. If you've seen the picture, it looks pretty bizarre. Also, if you're going to have Superman come out as bi, maybe you should have him kiss somebody.
Let me pull up that picture. So
maybe you should have him kiss somebody that obviously looks like a man instead of there being some question. Because I gotta tell you, like at a glance. Yeah, that one. Oh well, no, I'm not the one with Dean Cain. That one with the kiss.
Yeah. I mean, Dean Cain's in the picture.
No. With the kiss. Yes. There we go.
I mean, that...
If anything, I would want to know why he was kissing a lesbian.
Right.
Like...
It's like, does Superman not respect her choices? And again, to be clear, Superman Jr.
Right.
Apparently the only, they haven't pink-washed the original Superman. They've just red-washed him.
Yeah, okay, so let me be real clear. I don't have a problem with...
Real quick. A little greenwashing, maybe? I mean, look, this is an ear, right? Are these elves?
I mean, you exaggerate things in comic books. Plus...
Like their elvishness?
Well, plus, if we
I thought he was a fairy. This is a complete and total bizarrification of the art genre.
You know, okay, so if we're going to pick this image apart for realism, aren't those glasses just, like, smashed? Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Destroyed.
Like Superman's Twink Boy doesn't have, a right side of a face anymore? Anyhow, look, I don't have a problem with gay characters. I don't have a problem with black characters or diverse casts or whatever. Have you seen how some of the lefties are saying, Squid Game, part of the reason why it's such a good show is it has such a diverse cast, and it's proof that diverse casts, like, can give you excellent shows. And I'm like...
I've seen the show.
It's not a diverse cast.
No.
They're all Korean.
Dabundu. Hanguk saramnda. Every single one of them. Except for the old, rich white people that show up in the, as the corrupt... And there's an interesting point for you. Did you notice that the old, rich people, except for the one apparently Japanese guy, which is a whole thing with Koreans and Japanese... Except for the one rich Japanese guy, the rich people are all white.
Yes, yeah, and the English they
and American
had American accents, yeah.
So diversity, yeah, that's the watchword there.
No, but
they remember Black Panther, all black cast except for the two Tolkien white guys, and
well played,
and all black production, and. It would. Oh, look! This is the most diverse cast. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
So, they missed the point, though. And here's the thing, okay? Like, and give me just a little bit of thread on this.
Enough rope.
Yes, exactly. Hang us with some. Would that be a self?
Oh, we haven't been thrown off the show in almost a week, so go for it.
Well, as long as we don't talk about amphibious priapism or taking certain kinds of jabs, I think we're okay.
I don't know. Crowder got greased for making a joke about Alex Jones being an angel in a prison.
Which was funny.
And we're touching on a little here.
Okay, anyhow, look, okay. I don't have a problem with gay characters. I don't have a problem with diverse casts. I've actually said before that if you want to take the King Arthur legend and you want to update it and do something modern with it, I'd be a big fan of seeing Denzel Washington play King Arthur, and then we could even have some bizarre reason why there's a black King of England in the 1400s. It could be like some Watchmen-style alternate universe.
As long as I get Ryan Reynolds as Lancelot.
It could be some Watchmen-style alternate universe. Because it would be about the story, and then you would have the actors that could pull off that kind of a story. Denzel Washington would have that majestic presence, okay? That's not what I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is pretending like this is important. And, okay, fine, you guys are doing a show on it. If it's not important, well, hold on, okay? It's important that it's being done, but it's not important for the reasons why they say it's being done. Like, another meme that I see is, like, the one where, like, some parent posts, oh, my 5-year-old came up to me and was like, oh, thank God there's a black Iron Man. Now I feel like I'm represented.
No, your child didn't say that.
Yeah. Your child can't.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're... Like,
My 7-year-old was so concerned that she's going to grow up to not have choices about what she can do with her own body. No, she didn't.
Yeah, that's not what happened at all. Yeah, stop it. So,
at best, she parroted back something that you said on the subject.
Poorly.
You're a liar.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what it comes down to, is it's the story. It's not necessarily that Superman's son and I think Jimmy Olsen's... What is the pronoun on that?
It?
I guess. Anyhow, Krista says there's a Facebook group tag called that child didn't say that or something like that. I could see how that would be a fun Facebook group where people post about the amazing things their kid says and then everybody else just roasts them and says, no.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and look that up.
No, they didn't. Okay. But it's about the story, okay? The reason why so many people automatically reject it, they see that picture, they see that headline, they know that it's bullshit. But you might not be aware of how you intrinsically know that it's bullshit. And it comes down to the story. As in, at this point in time, whenever you see this, oh, the diverse cast, or this is so representative, or whatever. Like, for example, before Terminator Dark Fate came out, the director of that movie said, oh, man, if you're one of those misogynistic men, this movie's going to terrify you, because, man, it is girl power. And it's like, huh, your movie sucks, doesn't it? Is that what it is? Your movie sucks? And then the movie came out, and surprise, surprise, Terminator Dark Fate sucks. Right?
I haven't honestly seen it, but I've not heard anything positive about it. Same thing happened with the Charlie's Angels reboot, and nobody went and saw it. Well, leading up to the release of the film, the producer or director made a big point of saying, oh yeah, this movie's all about the evil man getting his comeuppance, and the women rise up to defeat the evil, horrible, terrible, bad man. And then the movie comes out and bombs abysmally, and the director says, well, it's because men just don't like to see strong women. They don't like to see strong women in heroic action roles. Like,
that's what I went to the Charlie's Angels movie for.
I saw the other ones. I saw the ones with Drew Barrymore and what's her face?
Lucy Liu,
and
the one with my name.
It's Cameron Diaz.
Thank you. Yeah, heard that joke a lot in high school.
She's a tall, skinny, pretty, generic blonde. I get her confused with the other tall, skinny, generic blondes.
No, and look, let's be clear. Men like to see hot chicks fight. Like, yeah. I guarantee you, every time a guy ever bought a ticket to go see Charlie's Angels, it was to see hot women whoop ass.
Yeah, I wanted to watch Drew Barrymore kick the creepy thin guy. I've watched Drew Barrymore kick the creepy thin guy a lot.
Krista points out a good example of this is Xena Warrior Princess. God, yes, 13-year-old Cameron had a crush on Lucy Lawless.
Absolutely. Steve points out we all liked Kill Bill just fine, despite her man hands.
Yes, Kill Bill was an excellent
Kill Bill was awesome.
Oh,
Charlize Theron, no doubt. Hands like mine. That blew my mind. I was like, wow, this is good. Jesus!
You mean Uma Thurman. Charlize Theron was not in Kill Bill. Anyhow, stories, okay? Stories. We all like Kill Bill just fine because Kill Bill was a fantastic revenge story.
Didn't she have the eye patch?
No, that was Daryl Hannah.
Oh!
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Red Sonja. Red Sonja was
look. I'm not going to keep going down.
Well, actually, no. This is awesome because you're really making the point here. That's a pretty solid list, right? And we haven't even gotten into Ripley.
Oh yeah, or Princess fucking Leia,
right?
Well, original trilogy Princess Leia, not the abomination that is the Disney trilogy Princess Leia.
Not the Femajesus.
Not the Femajesus, okay?
Not the Femajesus.
Okay.
Not the Femajesus.
Okay. But it comes down to the story. Human beings, like, our evolution favored a couple of things. In particular, pattern recognition. The ability to use our emotions to make decisions. And when you combine these... And that's right. And when you combine these things together, all right, one of the best ways to communicate from one human being to another is to tell a story. There's a reason why myths and mythic figures, like you say somebody has Herculean strength, you know they're really strong, you know they're really tough. You communicate a set of ideals immediately. And all that pattern recognition and emotional filtering and storytelling is literally the thing that we've built our civilization around. And at me all you want, challenge me, but I promise the ability to just tell a story and communicate an entire, God knows how many ideas just in that one story, just by expressing an archetype, just in a 2-hour movie or a 36-page comic book or whatever. Like, our brains are wired for it. Like, we get a little miniature high off of it when we recognize a pattern. It's a thing that your brain does.
Well, and this is one of the reasons that the pink washing and the black washing and all that stuff doesn't work out, because what they try to do is to replace the archetype with something that's entirely fabricated and does not exist in the world. And so your pattern recognition that gives you that dopamine hit cannot access it.
Stop. Something is wrong here. But then, of course, you will be made to care. You're not allowed to criticize how... oh, dear. Excuse me. You're not allowed to criticize...
You know, it was all I could do. I almost said it before you sneezed. Just to watch you fall apart on air. As you, bless you. It's all I could do to refrain from hitting you.
Anyhow. Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Don't ever stop the sneeze.
Oh, no, that's bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those of you that hold your sneezes in, don't do that. That's awful.
That's horrible.
Anyhow.
That's going to be the thing that causes your aneurysm.
Yeah. Hello, strokes are us. But what they're doing is they're covering up the fact that these stories are shitty.
Stroking.
That they can't that they can't think of anything, so instead they virtue signal. And I'd say get woke and go broke, but apparently comics are already on the edge of going broke. DC and Marvel, so they're like, well, we're broke, we might as well go ahead and go woke. And Superman in particular, for years now, has dropped the American way off of the Superman tagline.
They just recently did it officially, and they changed the slogan from Truth, Justice, and the American Way to Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow. The obvious implication there is they're suggesting that the American way is not part of a better tomorrow.
Yes.
And to be clear, the American way, which is liberty and capitalism, free trade, voluntary engagement, freedom of association, is the reason that world hunger has been eradicated, with the exception of a few places where a corrupt government is actively causing it to occur by intentionally reserving foreign aid provided by the American way. And I mean the American way, because there is foreign aid, there's charity outreach that is done by other countries, not nearly to the extent that America does it, but that has all been a result of the American engagement in that same activity, of us leading the way and setting the example. And I mean, those of you who watch this show, you know I am not a fan of foreign aid, not the way that it's done currently. I'm not saying it's bad to help people. I'm saying, but our policies on foreign aid are incredibly detrimental. We didn't even get to how to do it right. We're creeping up on 8 o'clock already.
Well, we can put the foreign aid thing aside. It just, but a fantastic example of what you're talking about You mean kind of like how the governor of Puerto Rico refused to hand out water just so she could blame Donald Trump for not sending her enough water?
And food. Yep. And
Yeah.
and that food, not only did she retain that food and prolong the suffering of the people in Puerto Rico, the money was spent to send that food and water over there, and it was retained for so long that it wasted and had to be disposed of. It didn't even get used late. It had to be destroyed.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, capitalists don't like waste.
No.
No, a capitalist would not have wasted dead food.
No, the entire function of the entire original function of the basic barter system that eventually gave us pure capitalism as a theory was, okay, I have a stack of furs because I keep killing these mammoths, and I eat as much of the meat as I can before it rots away, but now I've got this big stack of furs. And you're having bad luck with the hunt, but you've got a bunch of kids, and you just killed one big. I'm gonna not hunt this week. Here's some furs to keep them babies warm, and I'll eat some of that meat that you were gonna have to let rot anyway. And it was all about efficiently redistributing resources to where they could be used by voluntary engagement for mutual profit.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to kind of bring it back around, again, I mean, you can't stress this enough. It's because the stories suck. All the things that evolution has hardwired into our brains about the pattern recognition and the dopamine hit and the transmission of ideas. It's because the stories suck. And
well, okay, and when he says the stories suck, when we say the stories suck, before the cancer of wokeness infected these kinds of stories, the story was bad guy does bad thing, and the virtue of a good man is that he interferes in the nefarious works of a criminal enterprise to the benefit of the people, to the benefit of society as a whole. Superman's son being trans, or bi rather, is the story. Right? The story's got nothing to do with whether or not he does something good or does the right thing, because as far as the estimation of these writers go, that he is a sexual deviant is the thing which he does which is morally right. And that doesn't make sense to anybody. There's not a story there.
well, and we're talking about relatability. There's something inside all of us that gets excited by the idea of the triumphant hero. Like, it's awesome when Luke just barely manages to blow up the Death Star with a little help from his friends at the end of the first Star Wars movie because, well, I mean, Luke starts out as a whiny bitch farm boy and then ends up literally taking on the Empire damn near all by himself. And it's fun to watch. And it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight or black or white or male or female or whatever. That's a thing that we can relate to. What the majority of us cannot relate to, so says the statistics, since only about 13% of the population, give or take, identifies sexually as something other than what the left...
No, it's much lower than that.
I thought the latest number I saw was 13. 13 or 3%. Point still stands. Yeah, go ahead. Duck, go that.
But go ahead.
Point still stands. The majority of us cannot relate to, here's a story about being homosexual. Here's a story about being bisexual. Whereas it doesn't matter what your orientation is if the story is, you know, virtuous hero. That's something we can all relate to. But when the story is about coming out or whatever...
Bless you.
It didn't work.
Slow in the draw.
But thanks for trying. I wish it worked. I wish it worked.
Get it next time. Anyway,
but look, go ahead and whine and bitch and complain about this, because in order to transmit values to your children, Peterson talks about this a lot, about how Christianity, and in particular the tale of Jesus, has... And I refer to it as the tale of Jesus. I identify as a Christian and I have the faith and all that. But in this case, I'm going to refer to it as the tale of Jesus, because what you communicate by teaching children about Jesus has a whole lot of things baked into it. Like, y'all, things like love your enemy, that was a radical concept back in the day. It really was. Everything that we take for granted in our modern society about tolerance and forgiveness, like, that's all communicated with the tale of Jesus very, very, very efficiently. And there's also a whole bunch of stuff about sacrifice today for a better goal tomorrow. And then Krista, God bless her, brings up something that I was going to try and touch on. They shove it in people's faces 24/7. They're making the young, impressionable think that's a majority. Yeah, that's the other side of it. That's the other reason why I personally have a problem with a lot of stuff like this. It's normalizing things that, again, the math says are not normal. I mean, I hate to break it to you guys, but if homosexuality was normal in human beings, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being gay, don't get it twisted, but if homosexuality was normal in human beings, we would not exist as a species because we have to breed. Like, we have to. The advantage to our species not being gay the majority of the time is that there continues to be a species. So for me personally, I hate this being thrust on my kids because they start to ask me questions, and I have to wonder at a certain point, how far down the line do you go explaining things to them? We did the show years ago about the Macy's Day Parade that had a lesbian kiss, and one of my sons turned to me and was like, "Why are those girls kissing?" Like, it struck him as odd, and so now it's like,
and it was a pretty heavy kiss too.
It wasn't really that heavy. I mean, it was campy. It was like it was at the end of a show tune, but it was enough to where, like, okay, fine, I can't even turn on the fucking Macy's Day Parade. Like, nothing is safe. You've taken my football. You've taken my Terminator franchise. You're taking my comics. Nothing is safe. I literally can't take my children anywhere. And now, even in things like it was actually a pretty good movie. I found it. What was the animated movie that was based around, like, Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, with the son that was trying to cast the spells so he could see his dad. You know the one I'm talking about?
Onward.
Onward, there we go.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie, but they just had to slip in a couple of gay references, and it's just like, why? Why? That only exists so that your children will be exposed to it, so that you'll do exactly what my wife and I at the time did, said, hey, this looks like a good thing to watch with the kids. Let's turn it on. And they're clever. If they hit you with the gay stuff in the beginning, you would just turn it off right away. They start hitting you with the stuff like 45 minutes into the movie. Yep. So everybody's invested. So if you turn it off then the kids are going to go, but dad. And those of you without children don't know this, okay? But sometimes the worst thing you can do with your child is draw attention to a thing. It's amazing what they'll miss,
right,
if you act like it's not even there. Okay?
Are you kidding? If you just clap and celebrate a little bit, they'll miss that they fell on their faces. Like, that's the thing. If you're new to the parent game and you've got a little one and she's just learning to walk and trips and lands flat on her face, don't freak out and jump. Oh, God. Panic. Oh, God, are you okay? As soon as you start to panic, they will lose their minds. The child is hardwired to look to the nearest functional model for the correct reaction to new data. That new data may be pain, and if you are strong and treat it like it's not a big deal, then they will internalize that message. Like, oh, with all four of my kids, you trip and fall on your face. Yay, we can get back up now. And yay, I got back up. If you handle it that way and they still freak out, then they may have actually experienced some serious pain. maybe even be actually hurt. And that's even that serves as a much more effective metric as to whether or not you need to take serious remedial medical action. Like, one of my go-tos is if the yay celebration gag doesn't work, to remediate the experience of pain and humiliation from falling flat on your face, I go over and say, oh God, how bad? Is it that bad? Is it that bad? Maybe we need to do a quick combat battlefield casualty assessment. Do you have a broken elbow? How about broken wrist?
Okay.
How about broken ribs?
Okay.
And they will laugh. It's a whole tickle thing with the you treat it comedically, and you're still actually doing a combat casualty assessment, checking for broken bones and looking for open wounds and all that, but it never fails. All of a sudden we're laughing, we're happy, we're playing, and we've forgotten that we bumped our elbow.
So, just by the by, to touch on it, Chris Googled something on one of the screens over here, and it turns out he was closer to right than I was. Apparently, about 4.5% of the population identifies as gay. So, okay, fine, whatever. Point about relatability still stay. That means as soon as you say, okay, the story is about this person being gay, 95% of the population now has lost something to identify with your character.
Yeah, but apparently about 84 million of them will buy it just because they want to be supportive.
Yeah. So, recap.
Kind of like how about 84 million people are willing to cast a vote to... Well, but...
Fortify.
I know poor old demented man. He just needs our support.
But his tweets are nice.
And really, I mean, what did we need other than his corporeal form?
Right. So, recap, okay? This is just the latest in a string of bullshit. And how much further can they take it? Like, they've literally infected everything at this point. Like, it's red
Not me.
You know what I mean, okay? The Red Letter Media, shortly after the awful Predator movie came out a few years ago, asked a question on air. Did you ever think you'd live long enough to not only see all your favorite things as a kid come back, but all suck when they come back? RoboCop's back, and it sucks. Aliens are back, and they suck. The Predator's back, and it sucks. Terminator's back, and it sucks. Did you ever think you'd live long enough for all that? So, yeah.
We need to pick out something from the 80s that was awesome and just call Hollywood and say, hey, we want to ruin this thing that everybody loves.
They've already ruined most of it.
I'm sure there's got to be something left that they'll write a check for.
Willow, maybe?
Oh, God, no. Couldn't do it.
See, that's the problem.
Oh, my God.
That's the problem. We don't want to ruin good stories.
What about Cops? Remember Long Arm?
Anyhow, so A, this is the thing that's happening, okay? And B, this is the thing where I really diverge from Maj Toure on Maj, and I mean, and the guys on our side, right? Let's not get that confused. But Maj says to ignore things like this. Pick your battles, right? But I'm tired of...
Krista suggested we ruin the Princess Bride. You do push-ups, young lady.
Oh, dear.
You take it back.
Oh, dear. That's terrifying. Anyhow, this is a thing that's happening. Boy, you just made... That made me... Oh, okay. Don't be ashamed of pushing back. And when people on our side, like Maj, that are well-intentioned say, ignore this, let it go. No. I'm tired of ceding ground. I'm tired of our side's default position to cede ground. Or to concede to the enemy, okay, you have defined the terms of the game, so I accept your terms and will now play the game on your terms. Bullshit, okay? You don't want the opposing team to have the referee in their pocket. You're going to have a real hard time winning at that point. And so I say, no matter what anybody else says, hey, the whole Superman is bisexual thing, shut up your nose. Just shut up. Oh, and no more Truth, Justice, and American Way. What? Okay, but again, shut up your nose. Like, die in a fire. Like, whatever. I can't be pejorative or condescending enough. But do not allow yourself to be shamed for having a problem with it. You are not homophobic. I am not homophobic.
No, but we have just lost the game.
You son of a bitch.
I didn't do it.
You son of a bitch.
Trish did it.
Trish did it.
But I loved you.
And Krista says, we've turned enough cheeks. It's time to start flipping tables. Yeah, that's definitely an option. What would Jesus do? Remember.
Flipping people and flipping tables is not out of the question.
So be real careful. But no, you are not homophobic, all right? You are not anti-trans. You are not anti-black. You are not anti-woman. Or any of that other shit that they hit you with, okay? You yourself, as a functional human being, are programmed to desire a story with a certain degree of pattern to it. It makes your brain feel good. And then B, so are your children, and you don't want them to be corrupted. So, again, I can't stress this enough. Don't allow yourself to be shamed, struggle sessioned, whatever, into not expressing the wrong thing.
Correct. And we're running along again. Let's go ahead and put a pin in it there. We will see you guys tomorrow for Firearms Friday. Damn, son.
That's what happens when I try and hold a sneeze in. It just doesn't.
Y'all be safe out there.